Now the student of class 10th is ready to solve the problems question. The first question is Fe2O3 react with aluminium to form aluminium oxide and iron. The above reaction is example of combination reaction, double displacement reaction. C option is displacement reaction. Third is corrosion. Now we will be discuss this reaction is displacement reaction, only displacement reaction. Why? As we know, a reaction in which the high active element replace the low active element from its compound known as displacement reaction. Dear student, have you learnt? Please write down in simple language what is displacement reaction. A reaction in which the high active element replace the low active reactant from its compound known as displacement reaction. And aluminium is more active compound compared to iron. So the aluminium replace the iron from the iron oxide and to form aluminium oxide. So this reaction is known as displacement reaction. Now we will be take the another example. Write one equation each from decomposition reaction where energy from heat, light and electricity. Now we will be discuss about the question number 12. Decomposition reaction. What is the decomposition? A reaction in which a reactant are converted into two or more product in the presence of light, heat or electricity. These are known as decomposition reaction. Decomposition reaction, the condition is required heat, light and electricity. And now the first example of in the presence of heat. In the presence of heat. First example is in presence of heat. First is example CaCO3, calcium carbonate. In the presence of heat, the symbol of it is delta. And now a chemical compound which contains CO3 to release CO2 gas, such as Na2CO3, which gas is released CO2. It is a rule of science. If a compound contains the carbonate group and carbonate group release the carbon dioxide gas. Now, my dear student, please tell me what is the release by this compound. As you know, this contain nitrate NO3. NO3 release NO2 gas, brown color gas. And now, as we know, CO3, CO2. Your matter is clear? Now we will be heat and calcium carbonate. When the calcium carbonate CaO and CO2, as we know, if the CO2 is released, then the oxygen is remain and the to form calcium oxide. And we can written as this type: when the calcium carbonate is heat to form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. After the example of very important FeSO4 and FeSO2 and O2. Now what will happen? And now this ferrous sulfate, what is occurred? Initially we explain what will happen when ferrous sulfate is heated. What will form? Now we will be explain in easy way. FeSO4 3.O, FeSO 2O2. What will happen when heat? Now my dear student, it is very easy. And now Fe2O3 form. Fe2O3 form. What is remain? SO3. And now SO2, sulfur dioxide. So we can explain when the ferrous sulfate is heated, then to form Fe2O3 iron oxide, sulfur trioxide and sulfur dioxide. So if you explain as this type, so you can easily this compound in which compound converted. So we know, please tell me, FeSO4. This is found in green color. Green color. When the ferrous sulfate are decomposed into ferrous oxide SO3 and SO2. Now what is the ferrous sulfate formula? FeSO4. Another example of very important, FeBnO3 2, lead nitrate. Now we will add this type PbNO. Now what will happen when the PbNO3 decompose in the presence of heat? So please tell me, NO3, you know NO2 gas. So you can get 1 divide 4 marks easily, because you can identify of main gas NO2. This is brown color gas. Now we complete the equation. Pb NO2O NO2O and Pb NO2O NO2O, and this compound is written to learn. And now direct formula is PbNO3 2, and now the 2 is placed behind the Pb. So if we want to learn completely, so we can write this type: Pb NO2O NO2O Pb NO2O and NO2O. Then the compound is formed 2 2PbO. Compound is formed 2PbO, 2PbO, lead oxide, and this oxygen to combine O2, and now remain 4NO2, nitrogen dioxide. So this is the complete reaction. Please tell me what is the example of it. First is CaCO3. What will happen when the calcium carbonate hit? So CaO and CO3. Correct. Another example is FeSO4, 2FeSO4, Fe2O3 and SO2 plus SO3. Now the next example, very important, lead nitrate. 2 moles are taken lead nitrate, 2PbO plus O2 plus 4NO2. If you understand all the part of this, so please subscribe the channel which are given under the red sign. Please press the button and the icon of bell. Now the light, as we know, AgBr, silver bromide, and now light means sunlight. This is the sunlight, 2Ag plus Br2, 2Ag Br, and the use of AgBr, black and white photography, very important, use of AgBr, black and white photography. My dear student, now the example of electricity, 2H2O, water in the presence of platinum and electric current. Then to form of 2H2 and O2, hydrogen and oxygen, when the decomposition of H2O in the presence of platinum electrode and electric current to form hydrogen and oxygen. Now this question number of 12 has been solved. What is the difference between displacement and double displacement? Write the equation of these reaction. Now we will be discuss about the displacement reaction and double displacement reaction. So we will be discuss is this type. Now blank portion, displacement reaction. Now we will be displacement reaction. What is the displacement reaction? Such as we will understand to this reaction by this example. A, B, C and C is here and C and B plus A. As we know, a reaction in which the more active element replace the high active element, a reaction in which the high active element replaces the low active element from its compound, known as displacement reaction. And this element may be metal. Displacement reaction. What is the displacement reaction? A reaction in which high active element replace low active element from its compound, so known as this reaction is displacement reaction, such as A plus A and B plus C. So C and B to form A. In this reaction, C is replace the A from its compound because C is more active element compared to A. Now we will get the complete answer from this equation. FeSO4 plus zinc, and the reaction is completed this type ZnSO4 plus Fe. When the reaction of zinc metal with ferrous sulfate to form zinc sulfate and ferrous iron, because the zinc element is more active compared to Fe, so the zinc element replace the Fe from ferrous sulfate. Another example is CuSO4. This is blue color. And now this reaction with Fe, iron, to form FeSO4 plus copper, ferrous sulfate, and this is the faded color. Now the copper, and as we know this reaction, Fe is replaced the copper element from the copper sulfate. Now please tell me, complete the reaction in comment box. AgNO3 plus copper, what will happen? It is your Cw, and the reactivity of compound is potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, Fe, copper, Hg, Ag, Au. Now the symbol of K potassium, Na is sodium, Ca is calcium, Mg magnesium, aluminium, zinc, Fe iron, copper, mercury, and argentum and aurum. Now the reactivity is decreased from upward to bottom, top to bottom. Now, my dear student, if a reaction in which if the compound of Zn and the single element is potassium, so potassium can be easily remove the zinc from its compound because the potassium is more active than zinc. Now, if the two element are given, calcium and magnesium, which element is more active? Calcium. So calcium can be replaced the magnesium from its compound. And now please tell me, zinc, aluminium, copper and sodium, which element is more active? So sodium. So we can say if Al2O3 then reaction with sodium. So sodium can be easily transferred of aluminium metal from its compound because the sodium is more active compared to aluminium. Now we will be next question of this compound and displacement reaction. Now we will be discuss about the displacement reaction. What is the displacement reaction? So we will be discuss about the displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction. DOUBLE double displacement reaction. Double dual displacement reaction such as A, B, C and D. And as we know, plus minus plus minus. After then, as we know, the same charge are repulsion to each other and opposite charge are attract to each other. So A, D and compound will be PC. So as this type A and D plus C and B. What is happened in this reaction? The ions are transferred to each other in the reactant. So this is known as double displacement reaction. You can write it this type. A reaction reaction in which ions are a reaction in which ions are replaced to each other from reactant so known as double displacement reaction. Now we will take a simple example such as NaCl. When the NaCl react with HOH, when the reaction of NaCl HOH, what will happen? This is the H2O plus minus plus minus. Then the form of sodium hydroxide strong base and HCl is strong acid. So you have learned about the double displacement reaction. Next example is Na2SO4 sodium sulfate. Reaction with barium chloride to form BaSO4 plus minus plus minus. BaSO4 plus 2NaCl, and this barium sulfate is white PPT, white WHIT white PPT. Precipitate reaction. This reaction is now known as also precipitate reaction. Now we will be discuss about the precipitate reaction. What is precipitate reaction? A reaction in which PPT in bracket precipitate is formed and PPT is insoluble in water. Insoluble in water. So it is take place at the bottom of the solution. Now the example of precipitate reaction already we have discussed Na2SO4 and BaCl2 to form BaSO4 plus 2NaCl. Have you solved all of problem of decomposition reaction and displacement reaction and combination reaction through the new concept classes? And my dear student, this classes is only for English medium student which are belong to CBSC and RBSC and central academic schools. So if you like my video, please subscribe and share. Thank you for watching to all my students.